and good afternoon, Sydney. My name is Andrea, and I'm part of the platform product marketing team here at Zendesk. And I'm so excited to join you all on stage today as we explore differentiated service on Zendesk's customizable platform. Now, we have an exciting agenda in store for you today, one that's going to challenge you to think about how your service teams can become your organization's next competitive advantage. And we'll also be giving you a preview into Zendesk's latest innovations that are going to help you achieve this future state. But before we dive in, let's first take a step back and think about some of the trends that are driving these changes. Because if there's one thing I think we can all agree that we're learning today, AI is upending the way that customers and even your employees are interpreting good service. As we've just learned, customers expect service to be instant. They want more hyper-personalization, and they want every interaction with your brand to be seamless. And this level of service is so important, in fact, that 75% of customers are willing to pay more for companies that deliver better customer experiences. And for the brands that are falling behind, well, 73% of customers are likely to go to a competitor after multiple bad experiences. And it's because of these changes that we're starting to see a shift in the way that businesses perceive service. Whereas in the past, they might have seen service as a necessary evil, they're now looking at your service teams as their next competitive differentiator. And as ideal as that sounds, getting to that stage is not easy. Because as we've learned through our CX Trends report, business leaders do agree that personalized service is important. However, only 22% of those business leaders said that their organizations are sharing data well. And what that means for us is that agents are still working in silos, which means it's much more difficult for them to deliver those personalized experiences their companies are promising. And customers are still experiencing a disjointed experience, where they're still having to repeat information that they've already shared in their profiles, their past conversations, or even in their order information. And combined, these two elements just create a very impersonal interaction with brands that leaves customers dissatisfied and agents frustrated. So to stay competitive in this new environment, service teams need a platform that can be configured and molded to fit their unique needs. One that is quick and easy to personalize at scale, ideally without having to involve the development team, and a platform that can also be seamlessly integrated across teams and systems so that you have one connected experience. Because once you have all of those pieces integrated, it's so much easier to optimize processes and build out those time-saving automations. And of course, we cannot forget how invaluable it is to do all of this on a platform that is secure so that your customer and your business data remains protected. Now, fortunately, this is where the Zendesk platform comes in. Because for more than 15 years, our platform has equipped innovative CX teams with the no-to-pro code tools that they need to deliver personalized experiences that customers trust. And unlike other platforms, ours is open, so that you can integrate service into your tech stack in the ways that you prefer and configure workflows with your preferred coding language. And if you're not a developer, that's okay. Because we offer flexible no-code tools that ensure that no matter what role you have, whether you're an agent, an admin, or a developer, you have the power to do more with Zendesk. And as powerful as our platform is today, we have so much more in store for both you and your customers. But rather than just pulling up a slide with roadmaps, we figured, why don't we spice it up a bit and show you what some of these new innovations would look like from the eyes of a hypothetical brand. So with that, why don't we meet our friends for the day? This is the team at Roastery, which is a coffee brand that not only has their own chain of cafes, but a wholesale coffee bean business as well. And this is a team that prides themselves on excellent service. So much so that last year they expanded their service agents' roles to not only include supporting direct consumers, but their wholesale partners and fellow employees. The unfortunate news, though, is that this change happened very quickly, and their agents weren't able to keep up. So while resolution time skyrocketed, customer satisfaction, unfortunately, did not have the same effect. So now the Sunny Roastery team is looking to empower their agents with the right context that they need to efficiently personalize conversations, no matter which audience that they're working with. And ideally, they would be able to connect all their different systems into a cohesive experience without having to hire an army of developers. Now, to achieve their goals, we first need to address a few other challenges that they're facing. For example, their maintenance team. They're a newer team to Zendesk, but they still haven't brought in their equipment data into the platform, which has made it more time-consuming for them to troubleshoot with on-site employees. And on the customer service side, their product information has always been living in the minds of different agents, different documents, and different systems. And that has led to them sharing inconsistent information with themselves and customers. And finally, like many other teams out there, they also have an order management and inventory management system that lives outside of Zendesk. So agents are still going back and forth to answer the most common customer questions. But there is good news to this, because Sunny Roastery is already familiar with Zendesk's no-to-low-code customization tools. So they are able to customize their workspace to ensure that the right apps and tools show up whenever an agent is working on a particular workflow. And those workflows can be customized so that no matter if they're working with a consumer, wholesaler, or an employee, they're able to give them the right level of service every time. But to tackle those challenges that we just discussed, they turned to Zendesk's new custom objects. Now, by default, all customers at Zendesk have access to standard data like tickets, users, and organizations. But with custom objects, you can bring any type of data into Zendesk. So, for example, in the case of Sunny Roastery, they can use custom objects to model that missing equipment data and even associate it to the cafes that they belong in. And this information, along with their product, order, and inventory data, will appear in the agent workspace so that their agents are working off the same single source of truth. And most importantly, because the data stored in custom objects is now native to the platform, they can integrate that data into their workflows and reports so that they can actually take proactive action on the data that they bring in. But of course, we don't want to just tell you what custom objects can do, so let's go ahead and take a look at how the Sunny Roastery teams has been able to use them. And to do that, we'll go ahead and meet Annika, who has been a long-time fan of Sunny Roastery, and she's very excited to bring their coffee beans to her new cafe. But before she places her wholesale order, she first submits a quote request from Sunny Roasteries, which is stored on their help center. And as she's filling it out, she also takes the opportunity to specify what products she's interested in bringing in. To her, this is just any old ticket form. But for us, we know that this is actually a custom object. And what Annika has just done is automatically auto-populate this information for the agent helping her so that they can give her a faster response. Not sure what that looks like? Well, let's go ahead and submit this ticket and take a look at it again, but from the perspective of Sam, who is a support agent on the Sunny Roastery team. Now, Sam is tackling Annika's ticket, but as we mentioned before, she's used a custom object field, which is a feature that's going to be coming out later in the year, which allows Sam to automatically pull up a preview of that product record. So now he can see critical information about this product, like, is it available for wholesale? Do we have it in stock? And is this product excluded from any particular promotions? And with this information, he's not only able to answer Annika's question, but he's able to upsell her on additional products too. which in this case ends up being a win-win for both sides. Now, let's go ahead and fast forward to when Annika's already placed her order. Sunny Roasteries is also using custom objects to store their record data, and this custom object is connected to their external system via APIs. So, if something changes with her order, like, let's say, unfortunately, it's delayed, our favorite situation, Zendesk will automatically be updated through those APIs. And with the power of our integrated workflows, they are able to send Annika a proactive email letting her know the situation, as well as including a discount code for the inconvenience. It may not be as cool as AI admins, but we're going to work with what we can in 2024. So, by the end of the year, Sunny Roastery is able to use their custom object data to evaluate the performance of their products, so that in the long term, they're able to provide better coffee beans and better service. That sounds amazing, right? But I am so sure that there's a question going on through your minds right now, which is, how exactly does that data integrate with their systems? And that's a fair question, because as we mentioned before, Sunny Roasteries is working with many systems, and ideally, they want to connect those, but they unfortunately just don't have the time, budget, or resources to create multiple custom integrations. But once again, Zendesk's platform is there to help. It is because our platform is so flexible, Sunny Roastery can really integrate service in their tech stacks in the ways that they prefer. Now, for example, we touched upon APIs in that demonstration. But if Sunny Roastery wanted a more low-code approach, we also have pre-built connectors that make it quick to connect their other systems and their workflows together. But of course, what they're interested in is Zendesk's upcoming workflow orchestration tool, which is set to become available later this year through an early access program. Because historically, if you wanted to create a custom integration, you would need middleware and ideally a very experienced developer. But with workflow orchestration, Sunny Roastery gains the power of an iPaaS solution, including a library of pre-built connectors and workflow templates that make it instantly easier to connect their systems and existing operations. For example, if a customer submits them a ticket and says, hey, I don't want to be part of your newsletter anymore, great. We can automate that task through workflow orchestration. Or ideally, they can also use this to sync their inventory data with their custom objects so that information still stays up to date in both systems. And by automating these tasks, data syncs, and workflows, Sunny Roastery is able to create a smoother experience for their agents and their customers as well. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at what this could look like. Now, first things first, they're able to use that library of pre-built connectors to connect their Shopify storefront to Zendesk. That way, whenever a new product is added onto Shopify, they can automatically check to see if a custom object record exists for that product. If it doesn't, we'll go ahead and create a new custom object. And if it does, we can update that information so that once again, agents have the most recent information. That example only touches the surface of what you can do with workflow orchestration. So if you're interested in learning more or staying in touch with our AAP, I encourage you to scan the QR code that you see here, maybe take a picture of it for later, or you can also talk to our experts over at the Integrations, Customizations, and Security booth. But we also have a number of trusted iPaaS partners that are available today. So if you happen to be in need of a more immediate solution, do engage with your account team to learn more about these partners. Now, we've customized their workflows, they've integrated their systems, and now we are able to see the fruits of their labor. And the results have far exceeded their expectations. If you recall earlier, they were working with data silos, but now that their content, tools, and apps are in one central location, they've been able to reduce average handling times down to 54%. And those disjointed touch points are now connected. So now their average resolution times have decreased 63%. And most importantly, because of those custom data and workflow changes, they're able to efficiently personalize their service at scale and drive customer satisfaction back up by 20%. These are all amazing results, but there's one other area that we have yet to discuss. We've talked a lot about innovations around personalization, integrations, and even customizations. But in today's ever-changing data privacy landscape, we know that's not enough. Because customers do expect you to use their data to personalize service, but they also expect you to protect that data as well. Which is why Zendesk is invested in bringing enterprise-grade tools to make them available to businesses of all sizes. So with our platform, you have peace of mind knowing that your service data, tools, and integrations are secure by design, with built-in protections that are there for you and your customers. This includes capabilities that are built with best practices and industry standards in mind, so regardless of your region or your industry, you have the tools you need to meet compliance obligations. And we're only continuing to invest and strengthen these offerings, one of which includes brand spaces. With brand spaces, you can easily manage multiple departments, regions, and brands on the same Zendesk instance, while keeping the data between them separate and private. Our friends at Sunny Roastery are a perfect example of this, because as we mentioned before, they have their CX team and their technical team on the same environment. Now, obviously, their coffee technicians do not need to see Uncle Ben's customer information. So what they can do is assign their agents to their respective brands, so that if you happen to be assigned to the CX team, you can still see all the tickets that are submitted to the CX brand. But if you are on their technical team and you accidentally happen upon this ticket, well, you're not going to go very far, because Brand Spaces is protecting that customer information. This capability is going to be built into our core suite offering. But if you happen to have more unique security needs, we also have our advanced data privacy and protection package. This was designed for organizations with lower security risk tolerance and more rigorous internal policies, as it gives you higher controls over the security processes around your service data lifecycle. So that way, you can better control and limit and monitor data access. You can also minimize the data you keep and control the encryption key to your service data. We won't have an opportunity to go into it in depth today, but once again, we invite you to engage with us over at the demo booth. So what better way to end our time together today than to hear from an actual customer this time? And if you're a developer, you're likely already familiar with GitHub, which is a leading software development platform that is used by 100 million, developers around the world. And with the Zendesk platform, GitHub was able to successfully move off of their siloed, homegrown solution and create an agile, purpose-built CX platform that not only supports their global audience base, but their internal teams as well, which includes their IT and HR teams. And by using Zendesk's custom apps, marketplace, and APIs, they were able to customize and extend service in a way that has improved visibility, planning, and collaboration amongst their internal teams. And if it isn't evident by that 90% CSAT score up there, their customers love the change. And as an organization with world-renowned security programs, they've taken advantage of Zendesk's enterprise offerings to ensure that their employee and customer interactions are still secure. This is only one of the many success stories that we've seen with the Zendesk platform. And if you're interested in having a success story of your own, we highly encourage you again to come onto the demo booth, chat with our experts, and let us help you uncover how service can become your next competitive differentiator. Thank you once again for having me today, everyone. I will go ahead and pass it on to Sophie to introduce you to Nadine.